Hello there, welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be listening and reacting and watching House of the Dragon. Obviously I watched Game of Thrones. I quite enjoyed that series. Reading this here, it says this show is set 200 years before the events of Game of Thrones. This epic series tells the story of the House Targaryen. So I'm expecting it to be lore heavy. I haven't really seen too much about it. I've heard some mixed reviews, but I want to go into this with an open mind. I'm excited to start a new series on this channel. I think this will be something fun to react to. I don't know if it will be as dramatic to react to as, say, for example, Game of Thrones. But I do want to have an open mind, and it's exciting to start something new. So I do want to start with watching the trailer. I've not even seen a trailer for it yet. So we're going to start with watching the trailer. I am going to add it to my list on HBO, though, on Max. And I think it'll be something that will be fun to watch. So we'll watch this together. I'll put as much as I can in of clips of the show. Obviously, with copyright and infringements and things of that nature, I can't have everything in it. But I'll try to leave my good reactions in there. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. I hope you enjoy it, and let's just jump into it and see what House of the Dragon is all about.
And I placed my heir upon the Iron Throne, and all the dragons roared as one.
I consider the matter urgent. That of your succession.
Well, who else would have a claim?
The firstborn child.
Rhaenyra. No queen has ever sat the Iron Throne.
The king has an heir, Daemon Targaryen.
I will not be made to choose between my brother and my daughter.
Oh, man. This looks good. This looks good. It looks like it's exciting. It's got good music. Hopefully the acting is good, but the cinematography, I know I can't talk very well, I'm sorry, but it looks good. I mean, I know this is a trailer, so it's supposed to hype up the show, but I like it so far. I like it so far.
On the Iron Throne.
Where is duty? Where is sacrifice? Now they see you as you are.
Okay. It looks pretty sweet. Looks pretty sweet. A lot of dragons, a lot of fighting over the throne. Who's gonna take the throne? I mean, I like it. I like it. Very cool. Looks pretty cool. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm glad we're gonna watch this. I'm glad we're gonna watch this and see what it's all about. I'm excited. I think it'll be good. So yeah, let's just jump into it. Let's just jump right into it.
Succession claims were heard, but only two were truly considered. Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, the king's eldest descendant, and her younger cousin, Prince Viserys Targaryen, the king's eldest male descendant.
It is declared by all lords paramount and lords vassal of the Seven Kingdoms.
The only thing that could tear down the House of the Dragon was itself.
You know, there's a lot of truth to that. The only thing that could tear down the House of the Dragon is itself. There's just a lot of truth to that where, people within their own organizations, their own families, their own teams, especially when you're that powerful, the challenge is sticking together, keep moving forward to stay in control and to reign. Yeah, that's cool. Good opening. I thought it was really well done, and I enjoyed it. Yeah, just getting started. I think it's good. They give you some history in text form. I think that's good. 172 years before the death of the Mad King, Arius, and the birth of his daughter, Princess Daenerys Targaryen. No, I think this is good. Daenerys.
Welcome back, Princess. I trust your ride was pleasant.
Try not to look too relieved, sir.
I am relieved. Every time that golden beast brings you back unspoiled, saves my head from a spike.
Syrax is growing quickly. She'll soon be as large as Caraxes. That's almost large enough to settle too. I believe I'm quite content as a spectator. Thank you.
Impressive. I like the way it looks. I think they're doing a great job filming this. I think this is great. The dragon looked pretty sick. I like dragons. It's cool they have 10 dragons. I think that's pretty cool. I think this show could be really fun. I think it could be a lot of fun. It's going to be challenging, to learn everyone's names. The good thing is we have a little bit of knowledge about, Game of Thrones to some degree. I know this is 200 years before that, or I think now 176 years before the Mad King died. But no, I think this will be good. I'm enjoying it. I think it's really good. I like the music. I like the style. I mean, obviously, it's based off of the Game of Thrones story, but completely different. It's a different show. It's a different beast altogether. But I think it's great so far. I mean, we're only a few minutes into it, but I'm liking it so far.
You know I don't like you to go flying while I'm in this condition.
You don't like me to go flying while you're in any condition. Your Grace.
Good morrow, Alicent.
Did you sleep?
I slept.
How long?
I don't need mothering, Rhaenyra.
Well, here you are, surrounded by attendants, all focused on the babe. I'd rather serve as a knight and ride to battle and glory.
We have royal wounds, you and I.
I like Rhaenyra. Yeah, I like Rhaenyra so far. I mean, we barely know her, but she's giving me a little bit Arya vibes. She'd rather serve as a knight. Cool. But I mean, according to the trailer, she's up potentially to serve as the king. So we'll see what happens.
The childbed is our battlefield. We must learn to face it with a stiff lip. Now take a bath. You stink of dragon.
All the games are over. My son will be born. And the whole realm will celebrate.
We have no way of predicting the sex of the child.
Of course, no maester is capable of rendering an opinion free of conditions, are they now?
There's a boy in the Queen's belly.
I know it. And my heir will soon put all of this damnable hand-wringing to rest himself.
You pass through the Red Keep's gates at first light.
Does my father know he's here?
No.
Good.
Gods be good.
It's all right, sir.
Ergotis, Berium.
Se pavron qui Jalina.
I mean, she must like her uncle to go meet him, It's interesting. It's interesting because we do know a little bit of spoilers from the trailer, obviously. But, it's going to be between her and her uncle as far as who becomes the new heir. So I would assume that means that he's not having a son, even though that's what he's hoping for, of course. But, yeah, it's interesting. He doesn't even seem that old, but I guess it's a matter of planning on who's going to be the next king, you know? Got to have that stuff lined up.
I brought you something.
You're always like this when you're worried.
Like what?
Disagreeable. You're worried your father is about to overshadow you with a son.
I only worry for my mother. I hope for my father that he gets a son. As long as I can recall, it's all he's wanted.
You want him to have a son?
I want to fly with you on Dragonback, see the great wonders across the narrow sea, and eat only cake.
I'm being serious.
I'm never just about cake.
You aren't worried about your position?
I like this position. It's quite comfortable. Where are you going?
Home. The hour has grown late.
Is it healing?
It has grown slightly, Your Grace. Can you say yet what it is?
We've sent inquiries to the Citadel. They are searching the text for similar cases.
It's a small cut from sitting the throne.
It's tepid.
It's as warm as the maesters will allow.
Don't they know dragons prefer heat?
After this miserable pregnancy, I wouldn't be surprised if I hatched an actual dragon.
You will be loved and cherished.
Rhaenyra has already declared that she's to have a sister.
Away from the lists.
Yep. He's already there. He's already there. Yeah, so this is interesting. I mean, it's unfortunate whatever's on his back. I mean, hopefully it stops spreading, but that could explain why they're thinking that he might die, I guess. But, I mean, it looks like such a small spot, but if it's spreading, I would imagine, you know, back in this time, you know, maybe they didn't know much about infection and all of that. So, but looking at it and seeing it spreading, that's not a good sign.
But I've mourned all the dead children like her.
That's tough. So if I'm understanding right, she's had 5 pregnancies in the last 10 years, and it sounds like not all of them or any of them were successful, other than, of course, their one daughter they have, if I'm understanding correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. You know, I'm just starting. You know, I'm getting to learn more about the show as we go. But, yeah, that's rough. That's rough. Feel bad for her. No wonder she's unhappy, or seems to be, you know?
No longer. Beginning tonight, King's Landing will learn to fear the color gold.
Jeez, I wonder what led to this. You know, why is he so mad? Is he just nuts? Is 176 years before the Mad King, so you know he's not going to be the Mad King. But it's just, is he just evil or what? Like, why is he having these men run and assault these people? Is there something I'm missing? Maybe I haven't learned about it yet, you know? Maybe there's a reason for it, for his aggression and his anger. But it seems a bit harsh.
From every corner of the realm are right now descending upon King's Landing for my brother's tourney. Do you want them mugged, raped, murdered? You mightn't know this unless you left the safety of the Red Keep, but much of King's Landing is seen by the small folk as lawless and terrible.
So, from his argument, what he's saying is he was enforcing the laws. So these people that were killed or lost body parts broke some laws of King's Landing, and that's why him and his yellow coats, why they did what they did. I don't know what laws they broke. It would be interesting if they were all guilty. I don't know how their system works. I mean, from the sounds of the unhappiness of some of these folks, it sounds that perhaps that is not the way to handle your criminals. But it sounds like they're in agreement that they were breaking some kind of rules or laws. But he's a reflection of the crown by going out there and just destroying them. So, I mean, that's good to hear that it wasn't necessarily just innocent people that he was slaughtering, but it's still not necessarily the way to handle things. But we'll see what the king has to say.
Our city should be safe for all its people.
I agree. I just hope you don't have to maim half of my city to achieve this.
Time will tell.
We installed Prince Daemon as commander to promote law and order. The criminal element should fear the City Watch.
Thank you for your support, Lord Corlys.
If only the prince would show the same devotion to his lady wife as he does his work, Your Grace. But you've not been seen in the Vale or at Runestone.
Enforce my laws, but understand, any further performances like last night's will be answered.
Understood, Your Grace.
I don't know. They handled that pretty well. I mean, if he is really going after criminals, people that broke the laws, there should be some form of law and order. I agree with that. To what degree, though, is what's in question, and how he handled it, and also the fact that it's very clearly that he just went out and did that on his own. He didn't wait for direction or permission from the king, his brother. He just went for it, and there aren't any repercussions, it would seem. Just kind of getting told, hey, don't do that, so I don't know. It's interesting because it's just the start of the show. You're kind of getting to know the characters. You don't really know who to like or who to dislike yet, and there's nobody that's really appalling. I mean, his brother, the girl's uncle, he seems a little outlandish, but I don't know that he's necessarily evil. I don't know. It's interesting. But we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, it would be funny because I might like some of the quote unquote bad characters. While the rest of you hate him. That would be kind of funny. But we'll see what happens.
A mystery knight?
No, a Cole of the Stormlands.
I've never heard of House Cole.
Princess Rhaenys Targaryen. I would humbly ask for the favor of the queen who never was.
It's interesting, this form of entertainment, It's cool. It's cool. It's kind of, they don't do this as much in today's society, but there is still, boxing and MMA and all that stuff. I've never really been big into that. I did used to really enjoy football, American football specifically. But yeah, I've really kind of fallen out on sports. I haven't really been paying attention as much to them. But yeah, it's cool. This is cool. It's filmed well. And I'm enjoying it. I like that camera angle, when you're on with the horse. I thought that was cool. was a cheap shot. It looked like a cheap shot. And maybe you're allowed to do that kind of move. I don't know. But he didn't really go for the shield, you know? He kind of went to take out the horse's legs, it looked like. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but to me it looked like a cheap shot. But, you know, maybe anything goes, you know? You can storm to victory any way you want. But yeah, it looked a little cheap shot-ish.
And the day grows ugly.
I wonder if this is how we should celebrate the birth of our future king. With wanton violence.
It's been 70 years since King Maegor's end. These nights are as green as summer grass. None have known real war. Their lord sent them to the tourney field with fists full of steel and balls full of seed. And we expect them to act with honor and grace. It's a marvel that war didn't break out at first blood.
Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, if you're not able to get that aggression out, you know, and you're built to fight and all of that, man, though, an axe to the face, was that necessary?
During a difficult birth, it sometimes becomes necessary for the father to make an impossible choice.
That's tough. You know, it wasn't necessarily the bloody face that got me, just the fact that he has to make that decision about cutting the baby out of the womb and his wife dying in the process. That's really rough. It's really rough. I don't know what he's gonna do. I mean, if he really thinks it's his son, I mean, it is an impossible decision, but at the same time, if they're both going to die, no matter what you do, then I agree that you should try and save the baby. Or try and save his wife, but if she's guaranteed to die regardless, then yeah, you should definitely try to save, you know, whoever can survive that. But that's an unthinkable thing to have to come up with that kind of decision. That's rough. Oh God. Does she understand she's not going to make it? Maybe she already feels it. You know, maybe she knows she's not doing well. Maybe she knows. Maybe she feels that. I don't know. This is rough. This is rough. Tough to watch, you know? Tough to see people go through this.
I love you. No, it's all right.
What is happening?
She doesn't know.
Serious?
It's all right. They're going to bring the babe out.
How will they be?
It's all right.
Serious, please. No,
Don't be scared.
Wow.
Sword! Prince Daemon Targaryen wishes to continue in a contest of arms!
Wow. He did well. The other guy did. Against her uncle, the girl's uncle. Man, that's terrible, the whole birth scene. It's rough. It's rough. She didn't understand what was happening at all. I mean, they're basically murdering her to get the baby out. I understand it happens even nowadays sometimes, but that's tough. That's really tough. I can't handle all that blood, man. Jeez, what an episode to start off with. We've already got people dying, people attacking each other. We've got the king sacrificing his wife for the baby. I mean, it's not unheard of for people to die during childbirth. It's not unheard of, and I mean, the fact is, if she and the baby were both gonna die regardless, you gotta do something. And it's not like they have modern medicine like they do now, you know. So it was a lot of blood, a lot to handle. But my goodness. I was surprised her uncle yielded, though, you know? I was surprised he yielded. I didn't think he was going to. But he did.
Grace, you have a son.
It's a boy.
A new heir, Your Grace. Had you and the Queen chosen a name?
Bale.
Oh no. Doesn't surprise me. Baby was so small. Doesn't surprise me at all.
Dracarys!
The last thing any of us wish to discuss at this dark hour, but I consider the matter urgent.
What matter?
That of your succession. These recent tragedies have left you without an obvious heir.
The king has an heir, my lord has.
Despite how difficult...
You, either by design or accident.
What are you saying? My brother would murder me. Take my crown. Are you? Please.
His brother's standing there listening to it all. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would murder his brother for the crown. I definitely think he wants the crown and would love to be in charge. But I don't know that he would full on just murder his brother. Surely not. I mean, I suppose anybody could do that, but surely not. He is eavesdropping, though.
Not agree on an heir, then how can we
My
expect a
wife
ransom?
and son are dead! I will not sit here and suffer crows that come to feast on their corpses!
I agree. I agree with the king. Did they not just die this morning? And they're holding this meeting tonight? Surely you can give them 24 hours, right? Surely. It is important to have an heir, I'm sure. You know, that's definitely something important. But give him a little time. Even a day, you know? Jeez.
I thought you might go to him. Offer him comfort.
In his chambers. I wouldn't know what to say.
It's not that. He'll be glad of a visitor.
Gross.
You might wear one of your mother's dresses.
She's just a child, is she not? She looks super young. Surely she's too young to be offering that kind of love and affection. Does he just want to marry into the bloodline or something? I don't know. That took a turn. If my wife and child, not that I have a child, but if my wife dies, You don't need to send me some young girl to visit me. That's weird. That's weird.
The gods give just as the gods take away.
He toasted Prince Balon.
I have to say though, does he not look like an elf? Like he's giving me elf vibes, guys. Like, I've been thinking it this whole time. I didn't want to say it because I'm not trying to insult the show or insult anybody in the show. He just looks like a freaking elf, guys. Like, you can't tell me he doesn't look like an elf. Like Legolas or something from Lord of the Rings, you know? He just looks like an elf. Anyways.
The heir for a day. Did you say it?
We must all mourn in our own way, Your Grace.
My family has just been destroyed, wife at once. And you are to do so without quarrel. By order of your king.
Brothers fighting. Brothers are fighting. Yeah, that was disrespectful. To hold a party over the fact that you're the new king, or would be, next in line. That's disrespectful. People mourn in their own ways. Give me a break. That's not mourning. He was kind of quiet at first, in the brothel. He was kind of quiet, keeping himself, but the fact that he was wanting everybody there, like, come on. That's not, if it is mourning, it's not a healthy way to mourn. You don't go to a freaking brothel.
It's important. What do you see?
I suppose I see us.
Tell me.
Everyone says Targaryens are closer to gods than to men. But they say that because of our dragons. Without them, we're just like everyone else.
The idea that we control the dragons is an illusion. They're a power man should never have trifled with. One that brought Valyria its doom. If we don't mind our own histories, it will do the same to us. Targaryen must understand this to be king. Or queen. I'm sorry, Rhaenyra. I have wasted the years since you were born. One Daemon was not made to wear the crown. But I believe that you were.
Corlys of House Velaryon, Lord...
Promise to be faithful to King Viserys and his named heir, the Princess Rhaenyra. I pledge fealty to them.
Are they actually going to stick with her when he dies, though? Are they actually going to stay by her side? I mean, hopefully. Hopefully they do. But that's cool. Big accomplishment. Big step, Naming a woman as heir, that alone, but the fact that, I mean, she seems to be smart with the dragons, She'd be a good ruler, I think. I mean, she's young right now, but when her father passes on, I'd say she's a good fit. Better than the guy hanging out in the brothels and talking about, the heir for a day. You know what I mean? Like, he's a little too cocky, really.
And if the world of men is to survive, a Targaryen must be seated on the Iron Throne. A king or queen, strong enough to unite the realm against the cold and the dark.
Now, I was going to try not to compare, Game of Thrones to House of Dragons. But is he talking about that winter? Winter is coming? Is he talking about the one that they all went through? That ended like instantly once it started. Once they breached the wall, it was over. I mean, how far back did the children create the White Walkers? How many years ago was it? Because the children are not really children. Like, they've lived for a really, really long time. Was it in this present time or before this time? That's the only winter I know. Granted, they've had other winters, but he's talking more about, everybody banding together, That could explain why Daenerys in Game of Thrones was willing to help Jon Snow once she saw the White Walkers for herself. That could explain why she was willing to assist if in her family line they've been talking about this for years and she finally came to the realization that this is what they were talking about. That could very well explain why she was willing to help. Are they talking about the same thing, or am I totally off base here? It would presumably, from the untrained, unprofessional guy here, I presume that would be the case. That's my thought process here. But that's interesting. It's interesting. I'm enjoying this. I am enjoying this. I'm trying my best to not be judgmental and to just take it all in and get entertainment out of it, and I am so far. I'll wrap up my thoughts at the end of the episode. I think, any major criticisms I might hold them off to the end of the season, but I don't really have any major criticisms up to this point. It's more of what we enjoyed with Game of Thrones. It's different, obviously, but it's still in that same, some of the things they're saying, some of the places they're talking about, the people you're hearing about. I mean, it's the same families 200 years beforehand, or in this case, I think they said it was 176 years now, or 176 years before the Mad King, I should say.
Princess of Dragonstone and heir to the Iron Throne.
Cool music. I like it. I'm looking at this. Do they have behind the scenes? Yeah, they have inside the episode, so I'll watch that as well. I'm going to listen to this theme song a little bit here at the end and the credits. I won't be able to put that in, of course, but I'll listen to it on my own and then get to the inside the episode. I knew there was a reason I liked the ending song. It's Game of Thrones. Now my wife is singing it.
It was actually Miguel's idea to intercut the birth with the specific Criston Cole fight, because as Emma tells Rhaenyra early in the story, the childbed is our battlefield.
All right, you've reached to the end of today's video. It was House of the Dragon. I thought it was pretty good overall. I don't have any major complaints. I could go through and nitpick the show, but that's not really. I want entertainment. I want to enjoy it, and I did. So I don't really have anything major to say. I also noticed, they're kind of looking at like the Daemon character is the bad guy. I kind of feel like that's the look we're supposed to be given. I don't feel like there's a clear bad character or bad person up to this point. We're only through episode 1, so a lot could happen, from now and through the end of the season. But as it stands right now, there's not a single character that I strongly dislike. There are some actions by some of the characters that I question, but nothing major. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good overall. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts of episode 1 as well. And also, I forgot to mention at the beginning, but happy Halloween. So hopefully you're enjoying your day. If you celebrate, go out and trick or treat with the kids if you have any, or give out candy or whatever you want to do. So hope you all have a good rest of your day, and thanks for watching. Bye.